Somewhere in the deserts of Central Asia, a caravan of 200 camels moves slowly across an ocean of sand. Every animal carries a fortune. Every step could be their last. This is the Silk Road, the most dangerous trade route ever built by human hands, and for the merchants walking beside these camels, reaching the next city alive is never guaranteed. It was never one road. It was a web of paths stretching over 4,000 miles, connecting the palaces of China to the markets of Rome, crossing deserts that swallowed entire caravans, mountains that froze men where they stood, and empires that would tax, protect, or slaughter travelers depending on their mood that season. For over 1,500 years, the Silk Road carried silk, spices, gold, ideas, religions, and diseases between civilizations that would otherwise have never known each other existed. It made emperors rich beyond imagination. It made merchants disappear without a trace. This is the story of that road, told through the eyes of a single caravan and the 4,000 miles of danger, wealth, and death that stood between them and home. The journey begins in Chang'an, the capital of Tang Dynasty China, and in the 8th century, the largest, wealthiest city on earth. Nearly 1 million people live within its walls, its markets overflowing with silk merchants, spice traders, and foreign travelers speaking a dozen languages at once. Here, a merchant loads his camels with bolts of shimmering silk, each one worth more than most laborers will earn in a lifetime. Silk is not just fabric to the people west of China, it is a mystery. For centuries, the secret of how it is made will remain one of the most closely guarded secrets in the ancient world, punishable by death to reveal. The caravan master checks his ropes, counts his camels, and studies the sky. Ahead of him lie deserts that have killed more travelers than any bandit ever could. He will not see Changan again for at least 2 years, if he survives at all. The gates open. The journey begins. West of China lies the Taklamakan Desert, a name that in the local Uyghur language is said to mean, "Once you go in, you never come out." It is one of the most hostile environments on the planet, a sea of shifting sand dunes that can bury an entire caravan overnight. Temperatures swing from scorching heat during the day to bone-freezing cold at night. Sandstorms rise without warning, swallowing the horizon in seconds and burying trails that travelers have followed for centuries. Water is rarer than gold here, and a single miscalculation between oases can mean death for the entire caravan. Ancient travelers spoke of hearing voices in the wind, phantom footsteps that lured lone wanderers away from their groups, never to be seen again. Whether myth or the delirium of dehydration, the desert claimed thousands of lives across the centuries, their bodies preserved for millennia by the dry desert air, sometimes discovered by later travelers as eerie warnings of what lay ahead. The caravan presses on, following a chain of oasis towns, Dunhuang, Turfan, Kashgar, each one a lifeline of water and shelter carved into the edge of an unforgiving wilderness. After weeks crossing the desert, the caravan reaches Kashgar, a city that has stood as the crossroads of civilizations for over 2,000 years. Here, Chinese silk traders mingle with Persian merchants, Indian monks, and Central Asian nomads, all drawn to a marketplace that feels less like a city and more like the meeting point of entire worlds. The bazaar overwhelms the senses. Spices from India pile in colorful mountains beside jade from China and carpets from Persia. Merchants haggle in a dozen languages. Coins from a dozen different empires changing hands in the same transaction. This is where fortunes are made, and where a caravan can be robbed blind if they are not careful who they trust. It is also where dangerous decisions must be made. Which route continues west, through the Pamir Mountains toward Persia, or south toward India, through mountain passes even more treacherous than the desert behind them. The caravan master chooses the mountains. It is the deadlier path, but the faster one, and time, like everything else on this road, has a price. The Pamir Mountains rise so high that ancient travelers called this region the roof of the world. Camels struggle to breathe in air this thin. Snow blindness claims the eyesight of travelers unprepared for the relentless glare off the ice. A wrong step on a narrow mountain trail can send a man and his cargo plunging thousands of feet without warning. Here, the caravan faces a different kind of danger. Not the emptiness of the desert, but the isolation of the peaks, where no city, no oasis, no help exists for hundreds of miles in any direction. Frostbite takes fingers. Altitude sickness takes lives. And still, the road continues, because turning back means losing everything already risked to come this far. Days pass in brutal cold before the mountains finally begin to descend, revealing the valleys of Central Asia stretching out below, and with them, a new set of dangers entirely. Beyond the mountains lie the open steppes of Central Asia, grasslands stretching to the horizon, home to nomadic tribes who have controlled this land for centuries. For merchants, this is one of the most feared stretches of the entire journey. Bandit raiders know these lands intimately, striking caravans with terrifying speed before vanishing back into the endless grassland. A caravan carrying silk, gold, and spices is a target too tempting to ignore, and many merchants who set out from Changan with fortunes on their camels never make it past these plains. Wise caravan masters pay for protection, joining forces with local guides, hiring armed escorts, or paying tribute to regional khans who control safe passage through their territory. It is not a guarantee of safety, but on the Silk Road, nothing ever is. The caravan pushes forward, watching the horizon for riders, trusting their hired guards, and praying the gold they carry is enough to keep them alive. Finally, the caravan reaches Samarkand, one of the most breathtaking cities on the entire Silk Road. Turquoise domes rise above the skyline, catching sunlight in a way that has drawn travelers, poets, and conquerors alike for over 1,000 years. Samarkand sits at the heart of everything the Silk Road represents. A fusion of Persian architecture, Chinese silk, Indian spices, and Islamic scholarship, all thriving together in one of the wealthiest cities of the medieval world. Here, the caravan can finally rest, trade a portion of their silk for astonishing profit, and resupply before the final and most politically dangerous leg of the journey remains ahead: the crossing into Persia. But Samarkand's wealth also makes it a target. Empires rise and fall fighting for control of the city, and the caravan must be careful, because a change in ruling power can mean the difference between fair trade and confiscated goods. For now, the city welcomes them, and for a few precious nights, the caravan sleeps without fear. From Samarkand, the road leads into Persia, a land of ancient empires, grand cities, and merchants who have controlled trade between east and west for centuries. Here, the silk carried across 4,000 miles finally reaches buyers who will pay staggering sums. silk destined to be woven into garments for Roman senators and Byzantine emperors who have never seen China and never will. Persian merchants take over from here, carrying the goods onward toward Constantinople and eventually Rome. A relay system passing precious cargo from empire to empire, with no single trader ever completing the entire 4,000-mile journey themselves. For the caravan that began this journey in Chang'an, their part in the story ends here, in Persia, trading their silk for gold, spices, glassware, and goods from the Mediterranean world that they will carry back east. They have survived deserts that kill without warning, mountains that freeze the unprepared, and bandits who prey on the wealthy and unguarded. Many caravans that left Changan alongside them did not make it this far. And so, the cycle continues. The caravan turns east once more, carrying Persian glass, Roman gold, and Western goods back across the same deserts, the same mountains, and the same dangerous plains that nearly claimed their lives on the journey out. For over 1,500 years, this road connected civilizations that never could have imagined each other's existence, carrying not just silk and spices, but ideas, religions, and inventions that would shape the modern world. The Silk Road built empires, it made fortunes, and it claimed the lives of countless travelers whose names history never recorded, buried somewhere along 4,000 miles of desert, mountain, and steppe. Yet the road survived every empire that tried to control it, and the paths first carved by camel caravans centuries ago still echo in the trade routes, cultures, and cities that connect our world today. If you enjoyed traveling this legendary route through history, subscribe for more cinematic journeys into the events that shaped our world. And tell us in the comments, which ancient road, empire, or lost city should we explore next?